Welcome, Granite Nation. Coach Chris here, and I'm gonna bring you all things quad sweep. So if you want bigger, wider, more incredible looking legs, watch this video, take these tips, apply them in our training session, and get growing today. One of the biggest things that I always get asked about is, Chris, like, what do I do for the quad sweep? I want bigger legs. I want them to give my body more X-frame in the lower half. So how do I make my legs and take them this way, right? To take up more space right and left. And one of the biggest things that I talked about people first when they were addressing quad sweep is, what do your leg exercises look like? What is the order of the sequencing? But first, what does your form and execution look like? Because what I'm gonna demonstrate here first is, if you aren't getting actively knees over your toes, you're never gonna go your quads. So let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm gonna show you this in a split squat, because that was one of John's favorites, right? The Bulgarian split squat of death. So what I wanna think about here is, if you look, I have all the weight planted on my foot, equally, heel, midfoot, toe. Now, what most people think about doing is like, oh, well, I want to move the most amount of weight. So logically, they start sitting back into that. Now, I'm going to go all the way down on my knee so I can talk and not have to tension on this quad. Look at this. Knee is stacked over ankle. So it goes parallel, right? So it's here, here to hip joint. This is good range of motion, but the problem is I am now loaded a lot through the hamstring, but a lot through my glute. My glute is getting stretched. What I need for quad, so instead of sitting back into this, I need to go this way with it. So you see the difference there? That I just took all the emphasis and took it off of the glute, and now this is all on my quad, meaning my VMO and my quad sweep. So what I wanna think about here now, to specifically hit quad sweep, I wanna think about my foot. I wanna put it on the outside, so my pinky and ring toe, so to speak, I'm gonna drive off this half or fourth of my foot, so when I come up, it's there, boom. Now, when I go back down for this split squat, I need to think about knee this way. So I'm here. Look at that, guys. Drilling that quad sweep. You can see it through my shorts. It's here to here. Here, here. Now, not NOT, this. Do I get more power this way? Heck yeah, I get more glute. I get more muscle in there. But if I need more quad sweep, I need to get this way with it. Now, I taught you the premise of where to drive your knee. I need to take that and apply it to exercises outside of the split squat, because that's not gonna be what I consider my main 1 or 2 mass builders. That's gonna be what I use to finish the quad portion of my workout. It's gonna be a quad biased Bulgarian split squat. So the meat and potatoes of my personal sessions and what I write for most of my clients are gonna be the leg press and the hack squat. So let's get on this leg press, and I'm gonna show you where and how I would put my feet in order to get the quad sweep, but also keep all the tension on the quad and not as much of the hamstring and glute. All right, so with this split platform and elite, what a lot of people like to do is they take the ball of their foot and they're gonna put it right in the middle of where that bend is, right? And you see, like, when I pop my foot on there, it shot up. That's where they're gonna wanna put their foot, because they get a lot of power through that. And will that get quad? Yes, of course it will. But can I show you how we can get even more quad? Move our feet and heels all the way to the bottom of that platform, because this is gonna cause, when I go down to in the bottom portion of the rep, it's gonna force my knees in the most flexion over my toes. So let me show you the difference just in the ranges of motion here. So let me start with the bad way first. So that's at like almost full depth for me. So look where my knees are in relation to my ankle. Am I still getting quad because I'm getting some drive to my knee towards my toe? Yes, but now watch the difference. Feet down on the platform, look at this. Now, you see that? I'm all the way flat on my heels. Look how far my knees are in relation to my toes. That right there is smashing my quads. So I just addressed the height of your foot is gonna be essential for keeping it quad there. And then I didn't even talk about your feet all the way up. That is all hamstring and glute. So we didn't even address that. But feet along that platform. And I know you're gonna say, Chris, like, I don't have that type of ankle mobility. Well, if you don't, watch this video, and that's gonna teach you how to help gain it and start working towards it. But if you lack ankle mobility, we must fix that first. All right, next, the most logical thing here is we have the height in which we put our feet. What about now the spacing of our feet, so right to left, and then also what do we do with our toes? So let me address that next. My feet are low on the platform. Most people are gonna say feet north and south, so 12 o'clock. That just never felt great to me. If you do this and you feel it in your quad sweep, by all means attack it. For me, all day long, it's right there. And you see that's a subtle, I'm gonna show it again. It's just a subtle. It just opens up my hips enough to where I can get depth on this platform and get my knees towards my rib cage. So right where my feet are right now, that's where I feel the most powerful. And if I'm gonna tell someone to go in here, load as many plates on the leg press and get 10 to 20 reps with it, this is the stance I want them to take if they feel good and powerful with it. Now, so I'm gonna show you a couple reps here so you can see like what that looks like for depth. And we're here, we never lock that. It's here to there. You notice the depth, my lower back is not coming off of that pad, I'm not rounding it, and I press up. Now, the next thing is people say, oh, Chris, well, your feet are a little bit more wide. Most people say to do quad sweep, you need your feet narrow. Okay, cool, V stance. John and I used to do this all the time. This is actually another incredible stance to hit my quad sweep. The problem is what most people run into is their knees hit their chest. So if you're very developed through the quad, if you notice, I can only get to there before my quads run into my midsection. So we're here, so I'm losing a little bit of range of motion, which is fine. I'm good with that. So if you feel this, and this is where your quad sweep are getting, I mean, look, you can see my quad literally trimming, right? Look at that. You can tell I just trained legs. So what we want to think about here, guys, is if this feels great to you and you dominate your quad sweep, use this. But I'm telling you, I think most people are gonna get more power, more weight, more load. And then what I really, the ultimate secret, I like the wider stance with my toes at 11 and 1. Top set, as much weight as we can do for, again, like I said, 10 to 20. Once we do that, take a couple minute rest, strip a couple plates aside, move your feet to V stance, and then murder 30. You want monstrous quad sweep, do that, I'm telling you right now. That's the secret. That's my second take home tip. So the first one is knees over toes. The second tip is gonna be in the leg press, feet low on the platform, top set with your feet wide, back offset with your feet with a V. Bonus tip. This is the very end of it, but 1.5 scoops of Granite recovery with 10 grams of creatine monohydrate that we sell. Another way you want to ensure your workouts are great, do this, use my discount code Edmonds10, and it's game over. And tip number 3 for quad sweep, this is the hack squat. If your gym doesn't have one, find a gym that does. I say that jokingly, but I really mean it. The hack squat to me, ever since I've had a back injury, has been an impeccable tool for me to use to grow my quads and continue them to progress now that I lost the ability to back squat. So with this hack squat, I'm really fortunate and elite to have the Flex model. It is the smoothest hack squat on the planet, but there's a lot of other good models out there. The Arsenal is good, the Precor is good, the Nebula is great, the old Cybex, another just solid piece of equipment. But the problem is most people just aren't willing to go to the end on this. And what do I mean by that? And I'll get Chaz to do a little picture-in-picture of me bottoming out this hack squat from today. So if you watch that video, you can see what I mean by effort, right? Like, we must take our sets to the absolute end on this hack squat because it can be a very good piece, but like any other exercise in life, if it's done with half effort, you get half results. So one of the main reasons my legs have always grown well is from early on in a football background, I knew how to train hard and I knew what level of effort it took to progress and no matter what I was doing. And to me, that's why I always say I'm 100 or 0. Like, there is no in the middle. It's to the end or you didn't. So with this hack squat, I really love to take these reps low, take them deep, drive off the outside portion of my foot, and finding the right spot on the platform can be tricky for some because not all hack squats are created equal. So let me start there and then I'll show you what some good reps should look like. If you think, oh, well, he already talked about foot placement being as low as you can on the leg press, it's gotta be the same thing that applies here on the hack squat. Well, that sounds incredible. But on this piece, if I put my feet in this position and do hack squat, I'm on my toes. I don't have that kind of flexibility on this hack squat. But what I have found is I have to play around with my foot positioning to find what feels best to me. So when I unrack this sled, I can tell you right now, this stance right here, I get to like right there and that's no-go. So I know I have to take my feet north and out just a touch. So if I look at that, I am hip width with my heels, my toes are 11 and 1, and then now I'm, what is that, 4 or 5 inches off the bottom of the platform, and now watch. I can get all the way in the hole with this. I can sit down, hamstrings on my calves, my feet are flat, I'm not rotating around on my feet. This is a good, solid rep. So if you look here, you can see VMO fully stretched. The tension right now is all in that quad sweep because it's fully lengthened, meaning fully stretched. And now all I need to do is think about driving off my heel and the outside portion of my feet, bam, and then we're right to there. We never want to get here, so just short. So all the way down, sit on the hamstring, bam, pop up. All the way down, sit on them, all the way up. There is no doubt after just doing the sled that if you use that form and range of motion, that my quad sweep will grow off of that. I can feel it. I can feel every inch of it. So if you take the 3 things that I'm teaching you in this video of knees over toes with the split squat, the leg press, feet low on the platform, and then here, finding the stance where you feel the most comfortable all the way flat on your foot, but at the same time sinking your hamstrings to your calves, That will get your quad sweep blowing up, make your legs bigger and better than they ever have. And I promise people we ask you, how in the world did you develop those legs? And guess what? You're gonna do that by watching Granite Nutrition TV. Until next time, Coach Chris, out.